So I ended up putting the G-string on. I got my LB on, I think, and my boots, my helmet, and I run into the other tents, yelling, "The enemy's coming, get to the bunkers."
What's up, my friends? Welcome to an all new video. I'm US Army veteran ThatChrisChaos, and today we've got a fun little interview kind of video with my good friend Bobby Henline. Me and Bobby, we were stationed on Fort Carson together in the 30th ACR, and we even deployed to Iraq together for what was my first combat deployment. While we were in Iraq, I got some great footage of Bobby doing some pretty wild and crazy stuff. Now, if you're not familiar with Bobby Henline's story, I'll give you the Cliff Note version. I believe he was on his third or maybe fourth deployment in Iraq when his vehicle was struck by an IED. His vehicle was thrown quite a ways, it was set on fire, and as a result, he was the only survivor in that vehicle. Bobby suffered some severe burns to a lot of his body. He also lost his left hand and fell into quite a rut. So rather than letting his depression and everything get the best of him, he decided to kind of turn that negative energy into a positive energy and get into stand-up comedy. Through his stand-up comedy, he kind of uses it to try to motivate other people, but also poke a little bit of fun at himself and everything, and even gets into a little bit of motivational speaking to try to help others out as well. So when I found out Bobby was going to be in town, I hit him up and asked if maybe he wanted to hang out, catch up a little bit, shoot a video while he was getting a tattoo done from a local tattoo artist known as ThatChrisChaos. I'll have both of their Instagrams and everything, information down in the description box as well, so make sure to check that out. So we sat down, chatted about tattoos, talked about, some Army lifestyle stuff, his foundation that he has, Forging Forward, so we'll talk a little bit about that and, just kind of talk veteran stuff. There is more to this video than what you have here. This is just the edited down version, so if you enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Maybe tell me in the description box that you would like to see part 2. So let's dive into it and let's kind of get into the interview that I did with Mr. Bobby Henline. So what was the very first tattoo?
Very first before?
Yeah, ever tattoo.
16 years old in California. Got it, a lion head. I wanted a lion head on my shoulder. And my uncle signed for me.
Fuck yeah, you're not my kid.
I go, I want this piece on my shoulder. I had $20 on me. So the lion head was like just bigger, like a silver dollar size.
You still have it, or is it covered up?
It's burnt off.
It's gone.
It's on the right shoulder where that big burn scar is.
Yeah. Well, the first tattoo in the Army.
First tattoo in the Army. Oh, that'd be this dagger. I was at Fort Hood in 1989. And that's when I got that dagger. It was great. Tattoos back then, you can get a nice one for $75.
What was the dagger symbol? Is it something like so cool, or was this dagger symbolize something?
It was because I wanted a Harley. So it had the eagle handle on it, and had the HD going through the middle of it. You can still see it. I just had it colored. It was just black and gray before. I had it updated and colored in when I got all the flames and stuff. But it's funny. So then, it started off as Harley Davidson, and I just changed it to Hemmet Driver.
Yeah.
I guess it'd be Het Driver now too, huh?
Yeah. Do you have any that are military related?
Yeah, now pretty much. Most of it's my story. It's all my story. Everyone on me, and I had a pit bull I got when I was 17, right before I joined the Army. It's now
gangster.
Right? Well, it was one of those dumb things you do. Well, I want the pit bull to look cool, of course. I'm in Cali. And my friend had a pit bull, Rags, that he just had to put down. It's like, oh, you should put Rags' name on there. I'm like, yeah. So then I went around with this pit bull tattoo. Of course, that artist would go too deep, and they swelled up and raised, and the ink. 17, so when I'm older, it's all running and Rags on there. It just was really lame. I have to explain Rags to everybody. Why does it say Raj? Is that your dog's name? What wasn't my dog's name? Look, when you explain it, you just sound really dumb. But that's now a fire extinguisher that says extinguished and covers up. Then my elbow has an exploding bomb on it. And then it says, I'm duh. My favorite, actually, military one is on my tricep. Let's see. A soldier hugging the Statue of Liberty. It's a soldier that loves his country. It's pretty cool. I like that one. I took a friend's drawing and I tweaked it a little bit.
Yeah. Is that your favorite one then so far?
I don't know. I love them all. But as far as like, guys, you know, a soldier really loves his country. It's really cool. Yeah, you know, back when I was 16, it was like, I want that. That looks cool. You know, I had a rose that said bomb or a little pixie butterfly thing. So I just got the Carson from, Bucky 5. I came from Fort Bragg. I get the Carson with 3rd ACR. And then as soon as I get there, railheading, get ready to load, head out. It's like the first year they're bringing air-conditioned vehicles over, armored already. And so we're doing the out processing and doing the blood pressure, your dental work and all that stuff, you know, doing all that checking the blocks. And so I was just standing there, like pointing, doing like the gun show thing. And I'd point like, okay, get your blood pressure over there, dental's over there, and just, you know, flexing the muscles and doing that smart ass stuff, you know, like there's the beach. And so then everybody's laughing at me because I'm like this new E5. They don't know me. I just got here. I just came from Bragg. And so he was just laughing at the new weirdo. And they all leave, and I'm on the last flight out that week. So when everybody else took off, I ran to the tattoo shop here, and I got serial numbers tattooed on my biceps. I used my brother's birth dates for the serial numbers. So then the first thing I do when I get to Kuwait and they're on the big old tent, I run in there and take off my shirt, like, where's my bunk? I start pointing, you know, showing the, like, no way. We first got to Baghdad. They just still didn't know what we're going to do. They didn't know what our mission was. And then did a couple of missions out there, and our sergeant major got hit right away. So everybody's kind of down. So I'm always doing goofy stuff. Well, I just happened to have a camouflage G-string with me. Well, I packed it for the inspection because I thought it'd be funny when we did the layout to put the bags in the Connex and ship them first. I thought it'd be funny at the layout. Well, they're like, oh, you're an E5. You don't have to lay your stuff out. You know what you're doing. This ain't your first rodeo. It's like, oh, okay. And I totally forget about it and I throw it in the Connex. So I go there my shit when I get out there. I'm like, oh, look. So I end up putting the G-string on. I got my LB on, I think, and my boots, my helmet, and I run into the other tents, yelling, the enemy's coming, get to the bunkers. Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, isn't there a photo?
Oh yeah, I still got the photos.
Yeah, I think there's a photo that went around. I think I remember that.
Yeah, it's funny. The wives are sent around because we had some guys that liked sending stuff home. The funny thing is I'd stuffed the G-string with a pair of black socks. It's cold in Iraq.
So then explain about this new tattoo you're getting now.
So the one I'm getting today is a knight because I forged through everything, forged through the fire, and so I started a nonprofit called Forging Forward to help other veterans, to teach them what I've learned, healing, going through stuff, and that's learning new outlets to deal with everything. You know, for me, it's of course writing comedy, or I write poetry. The gym's a great outlet. So that stuff. So and there's other things I want to learn, and forging's one of them. I want to learn how to. I think that'd be awesome just to be in one of my moods and just go out in the garage and bang on some metal and make some art out of it. When those demons are beating you up, you just want to get it out and turn it into some awesome art form. So I thought I'd start the nonprofit to help other veterans learn that, and myself too. Just do small groups and have a weekend of camaraderie and hanging out, but then also you leave with an introduction to welding, forging, or songwriting, whatever they're interested in, so that way they get an idea. Because a lot of times we don't know. we can do this stuff. And it costs a lot of money to go try to figure stuff out. Do I like snowboarding? No, I spend all this money on it. So you give them an introduction to it to see if they even want to further it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what I want to do with my nonprofit, all to help with suicide prevention. If you've got these outlets, you can get away and then possibly get those negative thoughts out of your head, help you clear it, express yourself. So we're getting the logo is a shield with a double F on it, forging forward with cross hammers. So I thought it'd be really cool to actually have a knight holding the shield with one of my quotes on there, which that was pretty cool because Stuart saw that part.
Yeah, what's the quote?
Oh, the quote is, I shall continue with, how's it begin? It's one of my quotes. I have to write it down, remember. I have a blowing up moments. I shall continue to walk this earth as a shield of strength. That's part of it. And it goes on as a beacon of hope, and that my footprint, hopefully my footprint when I'm gone, will still inspire people. And then I do a thing with remembrance tags. I have 200 names so far of veterans that have died by suicide.
Oh.
So I put their name on a dog tag, and our motto with Forging Forward is what's strong with you instead of what's wrong with you. Use your strength to build your weaknesses, and just remind people there's strengths in you. You got to count on those. Remember what you had. Stop thinking about, oh, this is wrong with me, that's wrong with me. Think about what's strong with you. And so I put their name, their rank, their branch, a little dash for their life, but no dates. And it says never forgotten. And the other dog tag says Forging Forward, what's strong with you? And so I give those, and they take an oath I give those other veterans, and they take an oath that they'll remember their strengths, that those tags will be a reminder, and they'll keep continuing to build that fighting position in life to protect themselves and live their life for the fullest for those we lost. Not do the same, when it comes to those moments we have of suicidal thoughts. And most of it, I've had those thoughts, and you got to remind yourself that, because when we do it, we're thinking, it's not a selfish thing, we're thinking our family will be better, they don't have to deal with, we feel like, oh, we're crazy, we're not normal, we're not normal, right? Our family will be better without us. We're doing it for them, like we think we're protecting them, but really, of course, we're not. But that's what you're thinking at the time, and so I want to make sure that they're remembered, because they're dying, yes, by suicide, but it's that invisible wound that they got from being in war. These are all combat veterans that are doing that, the names I have. So this is something, an injury from war that eventually takes their life, that mental illness. So to me, they didn't even remember just as much.
So did you have tattoos on your left arm?
Yes.
What tattoos do you remember what tattoos they were?
Oh yeah, we had a court gesture right here on my forearm. There's one Dave did back in the late 80s and the early 90s. And the court gesture had a dice in it, like hanging from its collar. And a buddy of mine, he was from New York. I came in the Army from California. We did 3 years together in the service, and went Desert Storm together. Best friends. So what we ended up doing, we went basic training, AIT, stationed together, same squad, everything. So in the die, there's a C for Clint, and he had the same thing. We had a B for Bobby, and then there's a 2 and a 1 for the 3 years we were in the military together. So that was the crazy looking court gesture I got. I had a tiger on that forearm, and I had the mom rose. I had a big peace thing. It just said peace, the word in Old English. A little naked pixie butterfly thing up there. They're all like those ones when I was a teenager that were so tiny. And then on the inside of the bicep, I had a really cool one I got at Fort Bragg. It went from basically the armpit down to the elbow in the bicep, and it was a seahorse. And it was it looked like a splash of water that made the seahorse. And then if you look close at it, you can see different skull things in the seahorse. Yeah, I really like my seahorsey.
Yeah.
Of course, the serial numbers on the bicep.
Yeah.
But I was actually want to get, an idea I had one was, before I deployed that last time, is I wanted to get Goofy riding a a chopped out big wheel.
Hell yeah.
Like I thought that'd be so cool. But then I was like, no, I better not get it. You know, what if I waste my money if I get killed? So I guess it's a good thing because the Goofy might have been gone.
Yeah, dang. What was the first tattoo you got after everything happened?
What was the flames?
Flames?
Yeah. I had because I had the skull there, but so it was perfect. Skull on fire. Start telling the story. I couldn't knew that skull was part of my story back then. So I had the flames around the forearm, and then I had to fix one because on the back of my forearms it said "Love Thy Children," but "Love Thy" was on the left arm. So if you're standing behind me, you'd see the "Love Thy Children," but the "Love Thy" was burnt off. So then it just said "children" on my arm. Everybody kept asking
You're
me,
my children's.
like, why do you have children on your arm? Because that's the arm I'd grab them with, snatch them up. So I had to fix that, and I added "Love Thy" over there.